Mets win again. They clobbered the Dodgers. 6-1 the final. Pete Alonso put on a show. 2 home runs in LA. The second one was Freddie Freeman watched it go too. It was like, whoa. So the Mets have played really well in this series in LA. They lost one game by a run where Brandon Nimmo got turned around on a fly ball in game 2. Are the Mets better than the Dodgers right now? Yes or no, AJ?
I think over the long run, the Dodgers will be better, but the Dodgers right now, because they're so banged up, are not as good. Look at the pitchers. The pitchers are the thing that you look at for me. The starting pitchers, especially. Now I know Manaea is still out, but again, no Glass now, no Sasaki. It's just like, okay, when these guys come back, who do you think is better? I still think the Dodgers are better. I think the Dodgers lineup 1 through 9 is still better than the Mets. So I think the Dodgers are a better team, but right now the Mets are the best.
That's why the Dodgers are a better team, because everybody's going to say injuries, they're inevitable. There will be changes. There will be slumps. There will be hot streaks. The Dodgers are the better team. That doesn't mean that you can't beat the Dodgers. It doesn't mean the Phillies won't beat the Dodgers. It doesn't mean the Yankees can't beat the Dodgers or the Mets. Like this was lucky or anything like that. That's not at all what we're saying. The question was, what team is better? It's the Dodgers. The Dodgers have a team that's built for longer lasting success. They might even have a worse record, but I would still say they're the better team.
What if they don't get the starting pitching back the way they think they will? Like, obviously, we're hoping to see Ohtani thrive as a starting pitcher in the second half of the season. You would hope that at least one of Snell and Glasnow come back and are healthy again, but both of them are dealing with the worst part of the body for a pitcher in modern times. Just giving you the classic what if. What if a starter goes down? What if a Yamamoto goes down? Right?
They've already had all their starters go down, haven't they? Yamamoto's the only one left from the beginning, isn't he? Landon Knack pitched pretty good the other day, so maybe Landon Knack's the answer.
So that's my point is, right now, the Mets seem to be playing the Dodgers better. Do you guys like Sean Manaea?
I love Sean Manaea.
As a pitcher?
I think that would be a big pickup, but I don't think you can expect him to come in as the hot streak Manaea that he was at the end of the year right out of the gate. I was wrong. I said the same thing about Ronald Acuna. I didn't think he'd come back right away. There's a feeling out process. The Mets are going to give him a leash. Frankie Montas is going to come back sooner. Are they going to give him enough of a leash? Does he is he going to be a bright spot in that rotation? The rotation really doesn't need him right now, and he hasn't had the greatest track record in the last 2 years. Is that going to last 3 years, really, with all the injuries? Is that going to be the downfall, adding him into the rotation? I don't know. Is Griffin Canning going to continue to be an all-star candidate for the rest of the season? That's why I think AJ and I are saying the Dodgers are a better team, but the Mets are the best.
They took them to 6 games in the NLCS last year.
Yeah.
They didn't have Soto.
They didn't win. Who won the World Series, Scott? Let me ask you that question.
The Dodgers. The Dodgers are the best.
No, they were last year, but now the Mets are the best. And listen, Edwin Diaz keeps throwing the way he does, and they keep their bullpen lined up the way it has. Their bullpen's been really good for the Mets. I think that might be the biggest surprise. They're getting some huge contributions from guys I don't think we were counting on, and to do what they're doing now Diaz has been awesome, and then their starters have been, Peterson and if Senga can stay healthy, listen, this team is really good. They're poised, and if they ever get Scott's favorite player, Juan Soto, going, just think about what this team can do.
I would say that's the only
in the last week.
I would say the Mets.
I know.
Yeah.
I would say that's the Mets' only injury right now. Is Juan Soto's bat has been on the IL for most of the season. Look at what the Dodgers have on the IL. So if you're talking about if both teams are going to be 100% going into playoffs, which team do you think has a better chance of winning? Would be my question.
If both teams are 100%?
Yep.
Dodgers.
Okay.
How good of a series is that going to be, though? How
Mets
good
are
of
the
a
best.
series is that going to be if it happens? And let's not throw the Phillies. We're just throwing the Phillies out there, and even the Cubby Bears. Now I know the Cubby Bears have some holes, but I think that Jed Hoyer is going to be given the freedom to go try and find another starting pitcher. And if they keep swinging the bat the way they are, the National League is a beast, man. We ain't even talked about the Padres, the Giants, and the Diamondbacks. They look cooked, but I mean, the National League is a beast.
It's a really, really good National League over the American League. I mean, for example, this Dodgers team, pretty much the same one from last weekend, right? That took on the Yankees. Don't you feel like this is a pretty different looking series?
Yes. I mean, you take away the 18-1 game. There's some good games, but it's like that you talk about the best in the National League. You could go down to top 4, possibly top 5, and then you're talking about the Yankees should be somewhere in there, and then there's a drop. I mean, I'm sorry, the Tigers and the Yankees should be somewhere in there, but then there's a big drop where the National League teams are there's just more available, just better teams.
Canning was awesome, by the way, in that game. 6 shutout innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He's from Cali. He's a UCLA alum. I'm sure this was pretty cool for him because there were times where you were looking at him the last year or so and before he entered the Mets equation, and you're like, I don't know if this guy's going to stick around in the league for much longer. Braves didn't want him, right? It turned out to just be a money dump with Soler. They let him loose, and the Mets are like, we'll take him. We'll pitching lab him. And Alden Gonzalez put out a tweet last night saying, Canning, 4.82 ERA the prior 2 seasons. He's sub-3 this year. Sean Manaea, before getting to the Mets, 4.73 prior 2 seasons, then a 3.5 last year. Luis Severino cut his ERA in half. David Peterson cut his ERA down about in half from 23 to 24-25. So David Stearns, Jeremy Hefner in the pitching program is working.
And most of them have stayed healthy too. It hasn't been like, I mean, Senga went down with, other things but it seems like this team is staying healthy compared to a lot of other teams. Let's not forget. That's a big deal. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but like, look at the Dodgers who they have on the IL. But the Mets guys, for the most part, have stayed healthy. Severino needed to stay healthy. Had a big year, right? With the Yankees, he couldn't stay healthy. He goes out and has a great year with the Mets. I mean, most of these guys have stayed healthy for the most part.
I agree. That's a huge part of the conversation. There seems to be 5 to 7 ball clubs that do a really nice job with resurrecting pitchers. Some of those clubs always have guys hurt. The Dodgers are leading the charge. The Rays are up there. I think that tracks a lot. I would say Cleveland's really good at resurrecting guys. They're probably in between. I don't feel like they have the injury load that teams like the Rays and the Dodgers do. You do? I think they're a little more tilted towards the Mets.
They get rid of them. They say, hey, right around your injury window time, he gone. Ship them out. Kind of like the Rays. They ship them out. But, I mean, hey, look, if you're questioning whether the David Stearns and the Mets can keep pitching healthy or not, or resurrect guys' careers, no better example to solidify it than Frankie Montas. Like, if they get Frankie Montas to be a viable piece of that rotation, you should be all in, and everybody should be mimicking what David Stearns has done for years between the Brewers and now the Mets.
I second that. I will tip my cap to the ultimate ability.
Well, no, Frankie Montas pitched last year now. He did pitch last year when he needed to. He did pitch
with success.
Oh, well, he pitched. That's a start for what he's been through.
And where was he at last year, to the end of the year?
Well, Milwaukee. Cincinnati and Milwaukee.
With a 5 ERA?
Yeah, it was like 4.6. But I mean, he pitched. But he did pitch, though. He pitched.
But if he comes back and in the second half he's got a 2.5, then let's talk and be like, someone's got to.
I mean, listen, what they did to Sean Manaea, what Sean Manaea did when he changed his arm angle was a big deal. I mean, it was. I'm sorry. What he did and the adjustments he made to become, I'm not saying he was the best pitcher in the National League in the second half, but you could make an argument he was top 2 or 3 in the National League in the second half with what he did in the numbers and then what he did in the playoffs.
One more name. Reed Garrett.
Yeah. Yeah. Kranick. What's his name? Kranick?
Kranick's been pretty good. Reed Garrett with the fastball cutter splitter location that he's got going on right now, the command of those pitches. I mean, he's dotting it wherever he wants. He is a really tough AB. What he did, what was that, game 2 of the series? Betts and Ohtani on second and third, no outs. Escapes with no runs. It was pretty impressive. Hey, you can say where I'm from and who I rooted for as a kid, but I am the first person that has called them out over the last, 15 years that I've been in baseball media when there's problems, and usually there have been problems. So I'm going to give this team a lot of love when they seem to be in a much better spot from an organizational perspective. I think they went through a lot of turnover. It's not just, the few employees that we do know, but all the way from top to bottom, there's just been a total wash going on to make sure that they're in a better spot than during the Wilpon era with the Mets. And this looks pretty damn good to me.
Obviously, this is super young, infant stage of Cohen owning the team. But if you're a Mets fan, it has been – I don't think it could have gone better. I get it. Mets fans won a World Series right away. But they're building something that seems more sustainable than just who's the best pitcher out in the market. We'll take him. We'll take the next guy. We'll take the best hitter. We'll take the best – they're building something sustainable, finding so much value in pitching.
Yeah, and David Stearns generally doesn't believe in long-term contracts for starting pitchers. I'm talking about the big ones, not 3 or 75 for Manaea. I'm talking 200 plus for Fried and Corbin Burns. Stearns is not a fan, hasn't done it. We'll see if that bites them. You got to see an actual World Series title. What, shorter? Is that what you're saying?
He's a short-term guy. He's a shorter-term guy. He likes those deals on short terms. Look what he did with the Brewers. Look what he's doing here with his first couple years with the Mets. He's a smaller term pitcher contract guy, and that's fine.
And hey, we get it. It's early June, but impressive series. So it's worth pointing out. We give the Dodgers plenty of love. Mets have played them tough. And obviously Pete Alonso has bounced back big too. I mean, he was fine last year, but he's really damn good this year.
Hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.